Hi, this is Jennifer Goddard. Thanks for taking the time to download this link. Let's take a quick look at Buzan's mind maps and see if we can discover the Swiss Army knife for your brain. You may not have thought about your brain that much, but today we're going to do a quick upgrading your neck top computer. You have this most amazing biocomputer, but when was the last time you gave it some new software or a new way of doing things? When I ask people what challenges they have using their poor old brain, most people will tell me that they have issues with memory, with concentration, getting distracted, with being overloaded with all the information that they have, trying to keep a focus. That's often quite tough. Just generally being more creative and helping with their thinking. So we all have these problems and they're quite normal, so don't stress about them. And the reasons that we have these problems is generally we were not taught how to use our brain properly, and we were taught to take notes like this. Perfectly logical, perfectly acceptable in its time, but it's a bit like trying to use this in today's world. So because we weren't actually given an operations manual for our brain when we were born, we don't quite use it that well. What do they say? We use less than 10% of our brain or of its potential. So once we can learn to use our brain better, there's so much more that we can do. I know with myself, I had real troubles learning. I left school at 15, and the more you would learn, the more you would forget, and I really struggled with it. And when I started thinking about my thinking and wanting to learn more about how I learn and about how my brain works, I started discovering material like Tony Buzan's Use Your Head, and then discovering this concept of mind maps. And mind maps can help you take notes and make notes that's much more in tune with your brain. How to study more effectively, effective reading, how to embrace change and improve my memory. There was also, with my children, how to help them use their brains a bit better. And this issue about different intelligences that we have, and now that I'm getting older, I'm a bit worried about age-proofing my brain. So what we know is that all these concepts you can easily learn. Today our focus is on mind mapping. And if you were to Google mind maps, what you would discover is that there's over 177 million references to mind maps. And mind maps are being used all around the world since Tony Buzan invented them in the early 70s. All sorts of people use mind maps, even Al Gore. Look at this, all this mess that he's got in his office, and right here, just above his head, there's a mind map, using mind map software to help him get more organized. People like Stephen Jobs or Morgan Freeman or Max Walker or all range of people from the very young use mind maps to help them use their brain. But what is a mind map? How does a mind map work? All a mind map is keywords and images which make a connection and association for any notes that you're taking or things that you're writing. One of the things with mind maps is that you start at 1 o'clock, see the keyword and follow the flow as you're reading the information, and then you just read in a clockwise direction. So you can see this is about Tony Buzan, who's an author, an educator, he's a sportsman, he's written on this whole topic of multiple intelligences, he's a bit of a media star and a visionary. He's an advisor to both business and governments. So that's just an overview of Tony Buzan and of a mind map. So let's take a quick look at some other mind maps. Mind maps allow you to do planning, like starting a new venture within your organization, or if it's a whole new business idea. It helps collect information from all of your team of what it meant for them to be a successful team. It helps with things like process reengineering, much more powerful than a simple flowchart. Mind maps can also help you learn a language. What we see is we see the image, we make a connection or an association with that image, and it actually helps us to think and learn in that language. In fact, mind maps can be used in any language. We all have these problems using our brains, no matter what language or what culture we're from. Mind maps are being used in schools. They're being taught at the very youngest levels and at high school and secondary and university. Children of 6 years old are being taught mind maps and taught how to think, so we've actually got to keep up with the 6-year-olds. There are a lot of practical applications for mind maps, particularly in business. Whether you're designing information, you're planning, whole ranges of information, trying to make some decisions, communicating out to people, overall thinking and management of both yourself and of your team. Also, they're quite powerful in building documents together. Mind maps can be done by hand, or they can be done using computer software. In our workshops, we explore both hand-drawn mind maps and computer mind maps. Say if you've got an idea for a business plan, maybe you adventure into China, you've got some basic ideas, and then you can just map them down. And once you've got the information there and you can see it as a bigger picture, you can add information on the computer software. You can see these little pencil marks along here. That's just a little indicator to say that under each branch we've actually typed information, paragraphs or tables or information. Once you've captured all your ideas and you're thinking in the mind map and you've drafted out all the key elements, then what you can do is you can export it into a PowerPoint presentation or into a document, whatever type of publication you actually want to use. So mind maps are a great tool to help us with any type of thinking that we're doing and get the most out of our neck-top computer. So that's mind maps, and now we've discovered the Swiss Army knife for our brain. What Tony Buzan said is that learning how to learn is the most important skill. What we've been taught is what to learn. We've been taught facts, figures, but not how to learn. And our workshops help people to learn how their memory works, learn how to take in information more effectively, and overall learning how to think. So that's the end of this little session. Click on the link here to our website to find out a bit more information. And maybe you might want to watch Tony Buzan talk a little bit more about mind maps. It's a great little video and I highly recommend it. I look forward to catching up with you soon and working on upgrading your neck-top computer.